Well, that's one of the hardest things about the job is sorting knives while you've got 15 pounds of cooked bacon right next to you. You can't touch, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning, you know.
Yeah, they're like, our knives feel great, but half the bacon's missing.
That's challenging, you know.
Ain't it great? Season 8. We're back with the No Dishes podcast. Once again, brought to you by our friends at Visit Bloomington. Check them out at visitbloomington.com. It's a great resource, even if you're just a local looking for something to do. Also, all of our other advertisers on this episode, they help make this whole thing possible, so please show them some love. Anyways, play that theme song.
Hey, say, honey, let's go out to eat. Relieve our culinary duties. With all these restaurants to sweep us off our feet, they're bound to turn us into foodies. No dishes, no dishes, no dishes. We'll have a bottle of wine for lights and have a good time. No dishes, no dishes.
Every good chef is only as good as the tools at his disposal. They need knives. They need sharp knives. And for that, we got the Btown Sharp Shop. We got Brett Morse, Kyle Turner. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing well, thank you. Appreciate you having us here.
Yeah, no, this is going to be fun. My first time meeting both of you guys, so this is going to be a good time. And I always like getting a mix of folks I haven't met before, folks I've known for 10 years. You know, it's different dynamics, but this is great because I get to just like if I ran into you at a bar, start asking the same questions I would. So let's start out with what is Btown Sharp Shop, Precision Sharpening, and then you also got Millward Creative.
Yeah. So Btown Sharp Shop is kind of an offshoot of Bloomington Precision Sharpening. We'll probably be rebranding soon all to just Btown Sharp. But it was always kind of our nickname, our hashtag, you know, even part of our website, btownsharp.com. And then we decided last year we're going to try to open a shop. I'd been mobile for probably 8 years now. I travel around to restaurants, barbershops, beauty salons, pet groomers, and I sharpen for them. Even some industrial sites. We've been companies that make air filters and things like that. So I travel around in my truck and I sharpen. And then we decided, okay, let's see what we can do to kind of bring this into town a little bit more. We sharpened at the farmers market. We sharpened at the Woolery farmers market, and we've been at the winter farmers market pretty much the entire time we've been around.
Nice.
And then so we wanted to get the shop going. I knew I couldn't do it by myself, so my wife jumped in to help. And we recruited Kyle here. He had his own little sharpening business going, and I'd kind of helped him a little bit with that. And I thought he'd be a great guy to talk to. So he was interested, and the rest's history.
Oh yeah, man! You're like, why don't we just merge forces? Yeah. Take over the town one knife at a time.
I was completely blown away. I was not expecting to get an offer to be able to do this full time.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, and this is how I got into the food industry.
Okay.
Other than some fast food work in college and stuff like that, you know, but I've always been a machinist.
Gotcha.
And I've always wanted to work in the food industry to some capacity, but I didn't really want to be a chef. I didn't want that stress, you know, and it just kind of worked out. And here we are. Yeah, here we are now, you know.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, from the outside looking in, I almost think, like, man, if you do your job well, you're going to run out of demand. But, like, I guess things just kind of get, how often does a good knife need, if it's getting used regularly, need sharpened?
It absolutely depends.
Okay.
So we sharpen for the university, and we're there every week, you know, because they've got so many knives, we're just rotating them, you know. So even during the summer, they've got stuff going on. Kyle's taken over a lot of that for me. I've done it for several years, but we go in, we pick up stuff, we drop off stuff, and then we start the process over again the next week. And but most of our restaurants right now are about every month.
Okay.
We've got several in town that we do monthly, And then for home cooks, I generally recommend 3 to 6 months. Kind of just depends on their usage, how good their knives are. It really, there's a lot of variables there, and also if they maintain them. If you throw them in the dishwasher, they're not going to last very long. They just bang around on stuff and get dull.
Huh, news to me. I was like, huh? You can tell I'm not a trainer. I'm a front of house guy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I spent most of my career in the back of the house. I got out of the military. I started working at the community kitchen.
Okay, nice.
I was there for a couple years.
Were you there with Tim Cloffer?
No, Tim was at the food bank then.
Okay. He was literally just the last guest we had.
Yeah, that's when I met him. I met, so I've known Tim for 35 years, something like that. And then, so I was there for a couple years. I actually worked at the food bank a couple years or about a year with Tim. Got out of food for a while, and I had another business as a chimney sweep. Had to have a shoulder replacement. So I said, okay, I'm going back to cooking. Went to culinary school while I was working in restaurants, and ended up being a chef educator for a while. Worked in restaurants in Indy and Bloomington. I've worked in Montana and kind of all over the place. Spent a lot of time at sororities, which was great when I had kids.
Yeah, you get off it. Well, Sam
Absolutely.
just posted a job. They're expanding, and
absolutely,
she sent me this text with you're done by 6 or 7 every day.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, and you can be a chef and have a set schedule Sunday through Thursday.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
Pretty sweet gig.
Yeah, and the pay was good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was great. And then how finally I kind of got out of it when I had another shoulder replacement and a fourth foot surgery. And I was like, okay, I can't be on my feet anymore. And that's when I started the sharpening business.
And that was about 9 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I my last food job was Lucky's. I was the assistant meat manager down there.
Man, what a great, I miss Lucky's, man. That was a good
too.
spot, dude.
Yeah.
Those pizza, the meatloaf was really good at Lucky's. I don't know if a lot of people knew about that meatloaf.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. That's what we made in the meat shop.
Okay, yeah. Well, props to you. There, you had a fan, let me tell you. Kyle, you mentioned being a machinist and some of your background. Where are you kind of from, and how'd you find yourself here?
I grew up on a farm in Grant County, Indiana, just a little bit north of Muncie.
Okay.
And studied machine trades at Vincennes University and a little bit at Somerset Community College in Kentucky, and got into working with steel when I was young. I did vocational school in high school and stuff like that. And I kept getting in these jobs where I'm supposed to be a machinist. I'm supposed to be being creative and making these parts. And all I was doing was push and start all day and deburn parts. And those jobs would come up, and sometimes they'd last for months at a time, and it wasn't what I wanted to do. And then I could get other machine shop jobs, but they all kept turning out to be the same. When I became a machinist, it was on the very end of manual machining. It's hardly done anymore. Everything's CNC. I was trained as a manual machinist.
What's CNC?
Computer numerical control. It's
okay.
all it's like coding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To make the machine.
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
And it's very accurate, and I just never did learn that end of it. I wanted to work with my hands.
Of course.
So I'd get these jobs and wasn't happy with them, and just trying to figure out something I could do to make a living and just be happy, and not feel like I'm dreading going to work every day. So I started thinking about it, and I was actually at a shop working in one of these shops one day, and was looking through podcasts, and one of them said something to the effect of, becoming a sharpener, every household in America is a potential customer. So I listened to it, and this guy talked about how he bought one machine and learned how to use it and used that machine to buy more, and that's exactly what I did.
Awesome.
I bought one used machine. Within 2 weeks, I had enough money to buy 2 more machines. And they're not real expensive machines, but I got good ones. And my wife was like, well, there's this guy at the farmer's market that sharpens. You should go talk to him. I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. He's going to think I want to take his business or something, you know? And so I approached Brett, and he was like, no, come on in here. There's plenty of work around here. And then so he started teaching me. And then every time I would find something that I wasn't sure how to do, I'd take it over there, and he'd teach me. And I caught on quick with my machining background. It came pretty natural to me.
That's super cool. So how long ago was that you got into sharpening and you started your own sharpening business?
I started messing around with sharpening about 4 years ago.
Okay. And then how long have you guys been paired up as a team?
Well, officially March 1st was our grand opening. So we talked about it a little bit over the winter, and he agreed to join the team, and we said, okay, we'll shoot for March 1st. And we did a little soft open in the middle of February.
Okay.
And then, March 1st, he came on full time.
Awesome. What a cool, I love that. Yeah, we talked about it at length on here, just the spirit of collaboration in Bloomington with restaurants, you name it. And
Are you wanting to move better, feel better, and live better? Look no further than Move Bloomington, where their small group personal training programs are designed to improve strength, balance, and flexibility. With a welcoming environment, their expertly guided workouts can help you feel supported in the life and activities you love in and out of the gym. Whether you're new to exercise, a lifelong athlete, or anywhere in between, their dedication to personalized programming will deliver sessions that meet you where you are. Get started today using the code NODISHES to get 50% off their 3-session Kickstart program.
very little of, oh, they're a competitor.
Yeah.
You know, it's really cool, man. That's one of my favorite things about hearing those types of stories on this podcast is awesome. When you said Grant County, is that all three of my siblings went to Taylor University?
Yeah.
Is that that county?
Yep.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
I grew up 20 minutes from Taylor.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. I went to, what is it? Ivanhoe's, the ice cream place
yep.
there. Yeah.
Everybody knows about Ivanhoe's.
Yeah. I was the first one to not go there. I went Christian school 4th grade through 12th grade, and I was kind of a little burnt out. And I was like, they don't allow dancing, you know. When I've been coming down here, as I told you before we started recording, I had a lot of friends that came down to IU, you know, like Chris and Huey. And I'm just like, that Bloomington's a little warm my speed, and never left, you know. So what was it that brought you to Bloomington in the first place?
I started listening to bluegrass music.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yep. Started hanging out at Bill Monroe Park, met some people there, started going to the John Hartford Fest. And then one summer, 10 years ago, I met this redheaded hippie girl there, and
the rest is history.
A year later, exactly a year later, I married her on the Hippie Hill stage at the Bill Monroe Park in Bee Blossom.
Super cool. All right.
Saturday morning during the John Hartford Fest.
Awesome. Do you live in Brown County now?
No, I just live a few miles this side of the line, Unionville area.
Yeah. Okay. Super cool. And then Brad, you talked about jumping around.
Oh, yeah.
But what was it that kind of had you settle in Bloomington?
So, I grew up just northeast of Indianapolis, Fortville area.
Yeah, yeah.
Home of the pink elephant, you know. And went, you know, I was ready to leave as soon as I could. So I enlisted at 17. And nothing against my parents. They were great, but you know.
Yeah, you're young. You want to get out of the house, see the world. I get it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I came home. I was, my time was up. I was going to go to IU. So I came down here, and I loved the studies, but, I realized I didn't want to get a graduate degree to work. So I was double majoring in sociology and Afro-American studies, which is what they called it 35 years ago. And then I started volunteering at the community kitchen and working there. I was like, I like this. So I started cooking while I was in school. And then eventually I just left. You know, I didn't get a degree there. And, you know, just kind of did the Bloomington thing, worked in restaurants for a long time, restaurants, bars, tended bar and waited tables and doing that.
What were some of the Bloomington restaurant spots that you've worked at? Like how much time we got? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so long. So I was at the community kitchen. And I worked at Bullwinkle's on and off for 8-9 years, something like that. Then went out to Montana, cooked at a restaurant bar for a while. Then I came back, did a little bit in Indy up at Geist. It was a place called the Blue Heron back then.
Okay.
I don't know what it is now, but it was right on the water.
Cool.
Then I got out of it for a little bit, and then I was at the Irish Lion for a little bit, and
R.I.P. Yeah.
Then I was down at Four Winds for several years. My buddy Alan Edwards was the chef there, and he was teaching at Ivy Tech, and that's what kind of got me going to culinary school up there. So while I was there, I started going to culinary school. Finished out. I was working at the Country Club of Indianapolis. Worked at Upland for a while.
The one down here on 11th Street? Or
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then a couple sororities.
Yeah, okay. What was kind of the era you were at Upland for, out of curiosity?
Let's see.
I was trying to think of because I've known quite a few folks at Upland over the years.
Probably 06, 08.
Okay, was that when
there.
Doug Dayhoff was Doug
Yeah.
Dayhoff the president at the time? Okay, cool, man. Yeah,
So-
well, yeah, you've made your rounds, bud.
Oh, yeah. And then ended up at Brown County State Park. I was the food and beverage director out there.
Abe Martin Lodge.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that
I
was
swear,
the
man.
last place I was at.
I
So
swear everyone in
before-
Brown County has worked at the Abe Martin Lodge. We get the applications come in for our Brown County store, and I see Abe Martin Lodge on
Yeah.
previous employment more than anything.
Yeah.
And I need to go out to it. I heard it's a cool spot.
Yeah.
But I've never stepped
Beautiful
foot in there.
place. Yeah. So beautiful location.
Kyle, I want to hear about, you said you got some fast food early on experience there in college, or
Yeah.
did you ever work in Bloomington restaurants?
I did not.
Okay, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I worked at Fazoli's.
Oh, you know
in
what?
Vincennes, Indiana, for about a year. That's my food service experience up until now.
Okay. Well, so Garrett, has it been one of the episodes that you've been producing when we were talking with someone about Fazoli's being criminally underrated? And
No.
do you remember that at all?
No, I don't.
All right, it must have been way back when, where I'm just like, you know what? It's of a fast food itch if you want pasta.
Yeah.
And I grew up getting the strawberry Italian ices, and then just the breadsticks, just messed up with garlic and butter. And it's just I don't know. I got a soft spot for Fazoli's, man. It is not shabby. So
It was a fun place to work in college.
yeah. What did you ever have to work the dining room and take breadsticks
Oh
around?
yeah,
yeah. Of course.
I was the breadstick guy. I did put the spaghetti on the little scale and then put it on the plate. All that stuff. It was a college job,
Yeah, you're
It was fun. It got me by while I was in school.
yeah, you got to get something going on. And Vincennes, I actually looked at going to Vincennes because they had a bowling team. They were the only college, I think, in Indiana. Well, I think Marion has one, but at the time,
That's a big program there.
I know, yeah, they had
bowling
this
lanes
whole-
management.
I think it's the
So-
only one that does that bowling management degree. And I had started the bowling team at my high school in Indy, and thought oh, that could be fun, and it didn't end up happening. But anytime I hear Vincennes, I think of bowling.
Yeah.
So someone wants to come in, and we haven't even talked about it here. 1025 South Walnut. Give us some reference where that's at.
So we are one block north of Grimes on Walnut
Okay,
Street, on the east side of the road. We're in Suite B, which on the building is kind of L-shaped, and we're kind of in the corner of that L on the north side of the building.
Okay, yeah, Garrett's pulling her up here.
Okay.
Because I know block north of Grimes. Oh, so you're right by Russian Recording. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
We kind of share the parking lot with them. So.
Nice. Yeah, those are great people over there. We've talked about them coming on the podcast, actually. We need to still make that happen. I need to follow up with them. They're super busy.
Yeah, that Google image, it was still a hair salon where it says
Sheer
cut
perfection.
above there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So if for the home cooks, anyone listening,
Yeah.
if they need some sharpening done, do they bring their knives to you, or do they just say, hey, come by the house?
For home cooks, we say bring the knives to us.
Okay.
Come on in. If Kyle or I are there, we can usually just knock them out while you're waiting.
Awesome.
usually my wife doesn't sharpen, so she does a lot of our other stuff that's extremely important for the business. But she doesn't sharpen right now. So
I'm constantly calling Sarah. What do I do with this computer?
You know what? Everyone fills a role, man. They're very important all the way around.
So come in. We just take your name, phone number, ask if you want to be on our email address because we do some giveaways and things like that. If we can't sharpen it right then, we usually get it back to you within for us, we'll say, an hour.
Oh, it's
unless
super
it's a
quick
mower blade or something like that. Those go back to my home shop.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're talking, and that's good to know. So not just for chefs here.
No, we sharpen. Yeah, we sharpen for culinary, garden, tools. We do mower blades, saw chains, all kinds of garden tools. I do beauty shears and clipper blades for the pet grooming industry and barber industry.
Yeah, well, when you were saying
livestock blades.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, if it's got an edge on it, we
there
just
we go.
about.
Yeah.
just about. There's most things we can work on.
Yeah, I don't do saw blades anymore.
Okay.
I used to do that, but carbide is horrible stuff, and it's kind of going where most of the blades people are buying are disposable.
Right.
So I got out of that part of it. There's another company, Days Band Blades in Ellettsville, that does great with saws. And
nice.
They bought my carbide sharpening equipment because they were doing bandsaw stuff. They've been doing bandsaw stuff longer than I've been alive. But so I passed that off to them. They do a great job with that. So
Well, that's awesome that you're able to just say, hey, pop on over to Ellettsville.
Yeah.
They got you covered.
Yep.
Well, when you were listing those off earlier, I didn't think about, I'm just thinking, you're just working with chefs and, how often do they need it? Like how much demand is there? But it makes sense that you guys probably stay very busy.
Oh, yeah. And I travel a lot. So our mobile sharpening is for our commercial customers. And I go Indy, Terre Haute, Columbus. I do a lot in Columbus.
French Lick.
Well, I don't do French Lick anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would get in trouble if I had to go to French Lake for work.
French Lick. Yeah, French Lick. Yeah, I'm there all the time too. Paoli. I was thinking Vincennes. I cut Vincennes out of the route just because it was a little too far. So
We've got
Got to draw a line somewhere.
yeah.
at the store though. We're not just sharpening service. We've got inventory also.
Well, I was going to ask about that because I noticed on your card it says sales and service.
Yeah.
So what's the best knife money can buy?
Oh, that
Pretty subjective.
I know.
yeah. So
I like to have those on there.
yeah. When I was cooking, I loved. I had Messermeister German knives, and I had Japanese knives. And I won't differentiate. There's so many great Japanese makers and brands that I like a lot of them. But so we carry Messermeister in the shop. I'm still a huge fan. They are actually American owned now. It was a German company for years, but it's woman and U.S. owned now. So
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
You guys got in, so you can order on your website too.
yes, yeah, all our inventory that's in our shop is on our website. And then we have a book that's 3 inches thick in the shop
Yeah,
where you
it's
can just do special orders too.
Cool.
So,
I feel like that'd be fun just to browse.
yeah.
We've got some Japanese cutlery that nobody else around here can get.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's some really unique stuff. And what I like to do when someone comes in, when they want to buy a knife, I lay them all out for them. I was like, you have to pick them out, and it's got to feel right to you.
Yeah,
I
put
give
it
them
in
all
your
the
hand.
options, put it in your hand, and then we'll start your knife block that way. Build you a custom knife block.
I'd imagine you're probably the only people who are really doing that.
Check to you this summer. It's the Smithville Communications Summer Concert Series in Ellettsville. Brought to you by B97 and Hoosier Country 105.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Enjoy live music every Saturday from May 24th through July 26th. That's 10 weeks of music every Saturday evening from 6:30 to 8. Located at the Marcy J. Lewis Park. And Did I mention it's free? Dance the night away with the Smithville Communications Summer Concert Series in Ellettsville.
Better business, better community. For over a century, the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce has been a cornerstone of business growth and community development. They are dedicated to helping local businesses thrive. Their business is all about your business. Join the chamber today. Call 812-336-6381 or visit chamberbloomington.org to learn more.
Goods does a great job.
Yeah,
They've got lots of knives to choose from, and they've got a great selection.
That's about it.
Around here,
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that sounds like just a great, nowadays everyone's, buying everything online. And
we carry stuff that they don't have, and they carry stuff that we don't have.
Yeah,
we love our neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're great, dude. I hadn't set foot in there for the first time until like a year and a half ago. And I was like, oh man, how have I put this off for so long?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't until I bought a house that I actually started cooking. I never cooked in my apartment. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I get the house. I was like, oh, I should start cooking more. And they had so much wide variety of just random olive oils and, whatever soup mixes.
Great stuff.
Yeah. But no, just the fact that you guys have that where if you're buying a TV, you can order online, kind of know what you're getting. But something like that, like you said, you get it in your hand. It's got to feel right. And it's not something you can just look at a picture unless you already kind of know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So it's cool that you guys offer that experience.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with like beauty shears too. There's no place around that people can come put them in their hands,
Yeah.
So we've got a good selection of that stuff, and people can come try them out and feel them instead of just ordering something online that you've never held in your hand. We give them an experience.
That's awesome. So do you get free haircuts everywhere you go because they all come to you for their shears?
Well, I don't have any hair.
Yeah,
so.
well, free beers for him.
I had some really great Italian beef for brunch today at McNutt from
Oh, really?
one of the chefs I sharpen his knives. He always try this. Always gives me a little sample.
That's got to be the best where you're going around, and I'll get that a little bit because we'll wholesale our ice cream 2.5 gallon tubs, and you just walk in the back of the kitchen. What's up? Got your ice cream? You
I
guys
get it
doing
at the
all right?
shortstop.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's one of the last places that we like do the pints and stuff because we used to be in like B Foods and Kroger, and we ended up pulling out all that and really just kind of focusing on events and retail and catering. But yeah, it's always fun. Pop in the kitchen, saying what's up. You guys hang out a little long. I'm just dropping and running. Man, got Italian beef if you want to get me riled up.
Well, that's one of the hardest things about the job is sorting knives while you've got 15 pounds of cooked bacon right next to you. You can't touch, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah, they're like, their knives feel great, but half the bacon's missing.
That's challenging,
So you guys got the shears, you've got the cooking knives. Did I see pocket knives too?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a pretty good market?
Yes.
Yeah, I can
we've
see
got,
that.
I didn't know, I started with just kitchen knives, and then I didn't know how the pocket knives would go, but since we've opened the shop, it's really taken off. And Kyle's got a wealth of knowledge about the pocket knives and everyday carry knives, and he's got a good group of folks that like to come in, visit him, and see what's new. So
that's awesome, man. Well, I had no idea about the extent of what you guys do. And so I hope a lot of the folks listening or watching are thinking the same thing. And, someone brings up, oh, I need this. Or like, oh, I just watched this episode. Or I know, now I know, and I'm excited to tell people about it,
Yeah, we're pretty excited about that. So,
well, congrats.
We're really proud of the store. It's a comfortable place for people to come in.
Nice.
We encourage people to come in and talk about knives, talk about cooking.
Hang out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Inform us, let's have a conversation and get to know each other. And it's really fun. Wouldn't say barber shop feel, but it's a sharpening shop feel,
Yeah, but it's similar though. I like that. You're going in and it's more than just buying something and leaving. It's the conversation. It's a locally owned business, local guys.
We've got like left-handed fabric shears. That's gone over it. People don't. That stuff's hard to find. For people,
well, that just makes me think of the Simpsons episode where Flanders opens the leftorium.
The leftorium.
Yeah, well, like that's as soon as you said, I wasn't trying to be rude, but I just laughed. I was like, oh, that's amazing. I know that's a thing.
I believe left-handed pinking shears were in Flanders'
Yes.
inventory on that.
That's funny. I grew up on The Simpsons. It was like the edgiest thing we were allowed to watch.
Yeah.
Couldn't watch South Park. My dad was a pastor, but Simpsons, my mom wasn't happy about it, but we could watch Simpsons. And man, I just started rewatching it again.
I've been watching it for
first
30.
time in forever. And I just went back. I started beginning of season 2. And it's just like, man, it's such a blast from the past and all these things I forgot because I haven't watched The Simpsons in probably like 10 years, but I used to watch every episode religiously. Yeah. I had like Simpsons Clue, Simpsons boxers, posters. My mom made me, I had this poster. It was the chalkboard with all these different little sayings that Bart had said, but she made me black out one with a Sharpie that said, "I won't hang donuts on my dinghy."
We used to hang out in Bear's place and watch The Simpsons.
Oh, nice.
Like every Sunday night, it was like Simpsons King of the Hill. They had a burger and a beer special.
Oh, dude.
Just sit there and, hang out.
What a cool deal.
Well, if you come into the shop and look around, you might find a Krusty the Clown doll hiding.
Really?
somewhere
Okay,
in
now
there.
we're talking. Let's go. I'll see
I
if
can't say where. I don't move him, but he's in a different spot every day.
It's like Elf on a
I
Shelf.
found it on accident one day. I was like, what is that?
I might have some random stuff still left over. I'll see if I can bring it in and be like, hey, throw this up somewhere. You see they're doing New King of the Hill?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got Bobby's all grown up, and I think it's coming on like Hulu. I'm excited for that. Well, let's talk. Last thing we get into is place you guys like to eat out and some of your favorite, like these are the restaurants we like to go to. These are my favorite watering holes, you know?
Sure.
Can I mention one more thing?
Yeah,
about the
absolutely.
knife
Please
first?
do. Yeah.
So all this stuff in our inventory is completely customizable and personal. We can make it personal for you now too with the engraving service.
Cool. Oh, and I'm so sorry. Yes,
yeah.
I meant to bring that up. So you got the engraving. Is that part of the Millward Creative?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
that
that's
is
my
Millward.
wife.
Yes.
She's worked in tech for years, and she ended up getting laid off when all these government cuts started coming about. So we brought her into the shop full time, and one of the things that she decided she wanted to do was maybe start doing some personalization and engraving. So we got a laser engraver. She's, personalizing stuff. She just did a bunch for Sycamore Valley Gun Club, a bunch of little pocket knives to give away. She did some personalized knives for a family reunion.
Those look so sick.
Yeah.
And that's not limited to just stuff we have in the store. You can bring anything you want in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are a one-stop shop, man. I never thought about having my name put on a wrench, but that'd be cool.
I've worked in places where you needed to have your name on the tools.
Yeah. I need what I'm going to do. I know what I'm doing. I'm getting my own custom ice cream scoop.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to be awesome. I need to find a gold ice cream scoop and see if I can get engraved.
Come in and we'll help you find the perfect one.
All right, there we go. Yeah, the weight's a little off, not balanced. Yeah. So you got this in a 3 ounce, actually. Yeah. Well, that's awesome that you get to work with your wife and just like have the family business. And obviously, I can tell you guys are pals. And like nothing's better than like you're your own boss. You're doing something that you love to do. You're working with your hands. That's the dream.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you just opened the brick and mortar in March, things are already going well. I'm just happy for you guys.
Oh, we
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Like that's a
Thank you.
good feeling.
We're happy to be here.
Yeah, no, this is, I hope everyone's excited about this as I am just sitting here because it's just like, it's cool. I love because obviously like our focus is restaurants, but you guys are restaurant adjacent and you're like helping make all these places run.
And that's a passion for me. I mean, like I said, I spent so many years in food service, probably altogether. I mean, if you add the bar time plus the restaurant time, I probably got close to 30 years in the industry, and I taught several years in the culinary program at Ivy Tech. And, I want to help restaurants succeed and do what they need to do. So I know it's hard enough to think about all the stuff that you have to do at a restaurant every day without worrying about sharpening your own knives.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're like, I know firsthand. There's a million other fires to put out, and then you go to cut something, and you're like, mother.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Everybody loves it when the knife guy shows up. We make life easier for people.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
And I'm sure it's like they got a new toy after you leave. They're like, hoo-hoo.
Yeah.
What am I going to cut
I got
next?
some chefs, they'll bring a knife all wrapped up, and they're like, this goes back in my hands when it comes back.
Yeah. I bet. So last thing on the business, I meant to ask earlier, I know. What's pricing even look like? You know, if someone brings in, hey, I got this butcher knife. What's that kind of cost?
So knives tend to run $5 to $8.
Okay.
So paring knife, small knife, pocket knife, going to be $5. We say under 4 inches, but we don't measure them. You know,
Right.
if it's
eyeballing it.
shortish, you got it.
And you're talking about the difference of $1 or $2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not worth nickel and diming our customers over, a centimeter, or an inch, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. We would much rather give you a 6-inch knife at the 4-inch price, just so that you're a happy customer. So an 8-inch, anything else is usually $8.
Okay.
And then we do serrated knives. We do, once you start getting into machetes and things like that, we charge a little more. But
Makes sense.
We still keep it pretty reasonable.
We do repairs too. If you break the tip off of your knife, we can reshape it.
Really?
reprofile
Okay.
it,
Absolutely.
bring it right back to life for you.
Do you guys got to wear like special glasses when you're doing that stuff, or how does that?
Or safety glasses.
Yeah. Okay.
We use pretty low speed machines so that it doesn't heat up the metal, change the temper or anything like that.
Yeah.
We study this stuff so we can treat the knives the way they need to be treated.
One of the things I've been doing the entire time I've been in business is I do at least 2 trainings a year. So I go, Vegas or Tennessee or wherever they're having them this year, and I'll go do a training. And I do that a couple times a year. Kyle's getting ready to do his second one this year.
Pull your mic up. Sorry. Yeah, you're all good.
So
I didn't realize. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle's getting ready to go to his second training for beauty shears and clipper blades this year. So we try to stay up on everything. We read about this stuff. This is our passion. So
Is there ever been, that's really cool. I love that you're like never just like content. I know it all. There's something to be said for that. The No Dishes podcast is brought to you by visitbloomington.com. VisitBloomington.com is the best resource for restaurant and culinary information, special events, fun activities, places to stay, and more in our area. We share a similar mission here on the No Dishes podcast of highlighting local businesses and the people who make our community unique. We can't thank them enough for hopping on board. Check them out at visitbloomington.com to easily plan your next meal, visit, or night out on the town. The Bloomington Town Planner is a community calendar owned and published by local residents John and Sharon Martin. Mailed out to Bloomington homes in December of each year, it features school schedules and community events. And don't forget the coupons at the bottom of the calendar. They'll save you money and help you decide on the next restaurant or retailer to check out here in the Bloomington area. Town Planner also has an online calendar which will be found at townplanner.com. Make sure to sign up for their weekly e-newsletter so you can stay on top of all the fun events going on around town.
Well, when I first started, I'd go see Brett it'd be a couple months later from the last time I was there, and he's doing stuff completely different. He's like, "Well, this is better.
Yeah,
it's faster."
Okay, all right.
And he's just constantly learning and encouraging me to learn. We motivate each other.
Yeah.
Well, that's huge. I mean, I honestly, when I self-reflect, I'm like, man, I get too complacent, and I know, and like, there's something to be said for like constantly trying to learn and better yourself, and not only professionally but personally. So the fact that you just do that on your own. I admire.
Thank you.
Have you ever sharpened anything unconventional where you're just like, hey, I wonder if I could sharpen this? Like, I got the equipment.
Sharpened a putty knife for a guy not too long ago, and he had to have a real fine polished, real shiny edge on it. He's using it for a lead knife for doing stained glass work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, Jordan Rader.
Yeah,
and I've got a couple pieces of his stained glass.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, great stuff. He's over at the Bad Knees market sometimes.
Cool. Okay.
So
Bad Knees is doing all the merch for Taste in Bloomington.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
they're great. Those markets are cool.
Yeah.
And good people, man. All right, we got 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let's dive into where we're getting. All
Sure.
right, you're craving. It's lunchtime. You're taking a break. You're craving a burger.
A burger? Oh my goodness. I like a thick burger.
Yeah. So I've always said you either got your smash burgers or you got your thick boys.
Yeah.
THICC. You gotta, they're two different categories.
Yeah.
Because I can't compare a burger at Hinkle's to, a burger at Uptown.
Yeah.
They're just two very different styles.
Yeah.
So anytime someone's like, what's your favorite burger? I'm like, well, which type we talking? You know?
Man, I just don't eat burgers that much anymore.
Yeah, well, that's good. Good for you, man.
But sandwich, for me, it's an Italian, and, Dagwoods,
That Carnegie at Dagwoods, that's so good.
I
Buffalo's.
I always do the Dagwood special, man.
Yeah.
Every time I'm there, I have a hard time getting anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done some other stuff, but every time
Yeah.
like that Dagwood special just hits.
Yeah.
It's like the 3 different types of cheeses. It's cold and you get that
Yeah.
Dagwood sauce.
Yeah.
Have you been to Little Italy? The Little Italy
I
market?
haven't.
Dude,
I
if
need to try
Italians
that.
are your thing,
Okay.
I'm gonna bring you one.
Okay.
I want to see your face.
They've got the best olive oil in there too.
Oh
Yeah, they got the real stuff in there.
Banh Mi, because that's over by Rush Hour
Yes,
Station,
I was gonna
right?
say. I figured that's where you were going. Yeah.
So I love those. So that's great.
That little strip mall, man, between Little Italy, Rush Hour, and Gable's Bagels.
Yeah.
They're punching above their weight there
Yeah.
at Third and Done. Yeah.
Yeah, there used to be a great little spot down by Lucky's. It was a Eastern European deli.
Kiev, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were great too. I love.
what? Well, I'd order the chicken Kiev. What was
Yeah.
it? Was it called Euro Deli?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I had totally forgotten about that place
Yeah.
until like a year ago. Someone mentioned it on Reddit or something, and it just brought back all these new memories. And I was like, I used to go in there all the time and just totally forgot it existed.
Yeah.
That's the first time I think. Anyway, Garrett, did you ever go down to Euro Deli? You know what we're talking about? Yeah.
Right next to the guy who fixed record players. you know?
Yeah, dude. I'm
Capatronics.
so glad you mentioned Euro Deli. That lady was so nice.
She was awesome. We'd go there for lunch at Lucky's.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like we'd sneak out of the butcher shop and
There you go.
And
Well,
go
you
down
got,
there
what
and-
Lucky's do? You guys did like $3 pints, didn't you?
yeah, we did the
That'd be
pints
nice.
and the
Were
pizza.
you allowed to drink there if you worked there?
No,
Oh, that stinks. I was, yeah.
I think you could go after work for a beer.
You're just going to be in
but-
your uniform.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, not on your lunch break or whatever.
Yeah, well, okay, that all checks out. But I mean, you get off work, maybe
Yeah.
flip your shirt inside out and go have a beer. That's what we used to do at the old Yogi's at 10th
Yeah.
and Indiana. You couldn't sit at the bar in your uniform, so we would just flip our shirt inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle, you got some favorite lunchtime spots, man?
You're gonna think I'm crazy, but one of my favorite restaurants in town is the Cabin out on 446.
I don't think you're crazy one bit.
Good.
I don't think the Cabin.
More people need to know about that place.
Let's
it's amazing.
You know what? Let's just talk about Cabin the rest of the time. 'Cause I will. That Jake and Shannon.
$5 cheeseburger special. Oh my god, and it's so good.
The portions. And then my favorite is the Jake special.
Yeah.
I haven't had it in forever, but what is it? I think it's like pork loin, it's like goat cheese, balsamic. It was one of those things where I read every ingredient and it's like, man, if I just went to a custom sandwich shop and like built my own sandwich, this is exactly what it would be. And I was like, and Jake everything's always seasoned really well.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Jake doesn't mess around.
I compare every tenderloin I get in Indiana to the Cabin's.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
It's for the seasoning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's seasoned perfect, I think. And they're breaded mushrooms there.
I don't think I've
Best
done the
in
breaded
town.
mushrooms.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love
Absolutely.
breaded mushrooms.
Well,
yeah.
they'll do like different specials. Man, I haven't ate out there in a little bit. You're reminding me. That's why I love doing this. I
Yeah.
got to get back out there.
I like to go out there on a Thursday. I think it's Thursday. They do the open mic, and
Yeah.
David.
Yeah, Mike
hosts
Sando,
yeah. He hosts the open mic. That's always fun to go out there then.
Yeah, no, they got the great patio, the live music. My dad was down and we went out there to see my buddy's band Catalpa play out there. And my dad I was born in West Virginia. He's from West Virginia, and he moved out there for a few years. And all he did was go to the Legion and all these places for just live music. And we were sitting out on the patio at the cabin. He's like, "Man, I just feel like I'm back in West Virginia. Like it's just a good vibe, man.
Yeah.
It's like cool, and you got live music, great food. The thing with the food, not only is it just good quality and season, it's just massive portions, and it's very affordable, like very affordable.
The service is great. It's just a really fun place to go. I love it. Now if we're talking brunch though, I'm getting Vivencia.
Oh yes, okay.
I really like to get breakfast at Vivencia.
Another spot I haven't been to in a while. I went several times when it first opened, and every time was really, really good. But they did an amazing job of just the decor with the place, and like the food is phenomenal, especially particularly brunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my wife's gluten free, so we have to be a little picky about where we eat together. So breakfast we always hit like Brightside.
I was gonna say I feel
it's hard to get biscuits and gravy that's good anyway, but that's good and gluten-free.
And you don't feel like you're missing anything.
No.
Like that's the thing. If you didn't know it was gluten-free, you just go in there.
Yeah.
You'd have no idea.
Yep.
Everything, the coffee cake, the cinnamon roll, the Cuban sandwich, it all just tastes as good or better than any other regular restaurant. And it's not only is it gluten-free, but it's like a gluten-free kitchen. Like it is, nothing's touching
always
that.
taking stuff home too. Big portions and,
Oh, John and Abe almost always like, here, try this. I'm like, okay, if you insist, know. What about you guys? You got a nice like date night spot, or when you're going out for dinner with the redheaded hippie?
That's usually the cabin. We like to go.
That is dinner.
Yeah, we take a drive around Lake Monroe.
Well, you said you live right on this side of the border, so
those are the two main ones. I don't know. I got to go to Food Truck Friday and get me a lemon shake up.
Yeah, now you're just pandering.
Oh no, man! I used to have to go to a fair every weekend try to figure out where I can get a lemon shake up. Now I can just go get one. So that's awesome.
We do it right, man.
They're good. They're good lemon shake ups.
Thank you.
Too.
Yeah, that was the recipe we use now is the first one we tried. I was like, we're just doing a lemon, half a cup of sugar, water. And I tasted it. I was like, this is everything I want out of a lemon shake up.
It's great.
Well, for years, man, so we started Food Truck Friday at the old stand, the old chocolate mousse stand, moved it to the parking lot across from the police station. Then we went to the Herald Times. When we were at the Herald Times for 1 year, this guy, what's his last name, out of Brown County, he does the Brown County kettle corn. Andrew, I'm blanking on his last name, but he did a lemon shake-up setup, purely lemon shake-up, and sold his kettle corn at Food Truck Friday. And then they never came back again after a year. He got busy with other projects and stuff. And we were like, well, someone come back and do lemon shake-up. And then just no one would. So we're like, screw it. Chocolate mousse is now ice cream and lemon shake-ups at events. Which has been great. People have loved it. It's it's fun because the ice cream, you just hand it out. There's not much labor to it. It's already prepackaged. It's like, boom. So it's like something that you can do and just like when it's super hot out.
Yeah.
Nothing scratching that like 95-degree thirst itch quite like a lemon shake-up.
Yeah, if we go out to dinner, it's probably going to be Lenny's. They do an awesome job always.
Dude, so good. That's one of my favorite kitchens to pop into with ice cream. Yeah. And everyone's always so welcoming and nice.
They're great.
Them too.
Oh, yeah.
So they're great folks.
Next time you see Mike and Sammy, tell them they need to come on.
Okay.
I've annoyed them for like 2 years.
Well, and then Uptown's always a good one.
Oh, yeah.
And then go to Farm sometimes. But yeah.
Making the Kirkwood rounds, dude.
Oh, yeah. I love it. But another good lunch spot, I don't eat lunch in town a lot because I'm on the road so much.
Yeah.
So, I try to hit all the little spots all around. But Chef's Table's a good one.
Dude, so good. So they've been coming to Food Truck Fridays now.
Yeah.
And which has been awesome because I don't make it out to the west side a whole lot.
Yeah.
But Clark and Tiffany, man, they one of the best Philly cheesesteaks you're going to get. Yeah. And I think, do they still do an Italian? Have you tried?
Yeah.
Have him do it hot and he chops it up on the flat top.
Oh, yeah.
It's
good.
What's the Italian joint in the plaza over there where Petco is?
D'Angelo's?
D'Angelo's.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're great.
Yeah, actually.
They got a really Monday special, I think.
Yeah, they do great specials. Every time it comes up, they have my favorite salad in town. Just do their house salad, add salmon. I'm not a big salad guy, if you can tell, but when I do get one, D'Angelo's salad is...
Yeah. Their calzones are
fantastic. Dude, yeah. And I love Buccetto's calzones, too.
Yeah.
They got the one with like the roasted red peppers, ricotta. You put ricotta on anything.
That's one of the only places in town you can get anchovies on your pizza.
Buccetto's? Uh-huh. Oh, nice. Okay. Actually, it's one of those things as I get older, I'm like, maybe I need to give anchovies another try. Because I've had some nice Caesar, like high-end places to do Caesar, and I'm like, I actually enjoy that taste. So I've never done anchovies on a pizza, though.
I don't do it every time.
Well, I think it's
you got to be in the mood for it.
Right. All right. Well, thank you guys, Kyle, Brett. This has been a lot of fun. Btown Sharp Shop. Anything that we didn't cover that you want everyone to know?
Yeah.
Come on down and see you.
All right.
Come find out.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thanks so much.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Absolutely. What another fun episode, huh, gang? Thanks to Visit Bloomington, as always, for being our presenting sponsors. Thanks to Everywhere Science for this cool sign. Nate and team hooked it up. And thanks to you for watching so we can keep doing this. See you next Tuesday morning with another new episode of the No Dishes Podcast.
This episode of the No Dishes Podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Garrett Portinga of Green Hat Media in beautiful downtown Bloomington, Indiana.
No Dishes Media.
No Dishes Media.